power and light and support, and the memory of your oneness. That which gives you access to all planes of existence. It is said, in my house there are many mansions. Such an interesting play on words. This is the access point that takes you into the different realms of being, where you find all is one, all is true, love is real. Anchored in the root chakra, in our belonging and our security. Open in the heart chakra, loving and forgiving and letting go. Connected with the crown chakra to the cosmic wonder, to the infinite possibilities, to the goodness that is eternal. It is in this consciousness, in this connection, that we come together, that we allow the good to be revealed for us this day, within us and for each other. Allow a gentle smile to come to your face. Take a nice deep breath. This brings our meditation to a close. But take your time opening your eyes as we enjoy another song.
Gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet, to share with you the last bite that I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. All your hopes are sinking. Let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly every heart would understand. Love and only love for the tribes of man. I would give my heart's desire so that you might see. The first step is to realize that it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? When we stand together, it's our finest hour. We can do anything, anything, if we keep believing in the power between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
Thank you. What a lovely song. Is that the Judge? Yeah. All right. We are in a series of looking at the core principle teachings of unity. I thought it would be a good time to dive into those. Last week, we explored the first principle, which is that there's one power, one presence, God, the good, omnipotent. And the important word inside of that, of course, many of them, every one of them, but connecting God with the good and only the good. But we can't use the definition of the word good as we know it in the human realm. Because in the human realm, good versus bad, there's good and there's something else. And if we're in that mindset, then we're not talking about God. We're talking about something completely different from God, because God is a transcendent, immanent good with no opposite. That is what there is and all there is. Man, that challenges the mind. It challenges everything about our human experience. It says lay down everything that you think you know, because if it does not vibrate and match with this profound, uplifting idea, which is why there's only a few that really walk in the absolute awakened state of understanding. The rest of us are just growing in that direction, touching it, saying yes to it, getting glimpses of it. This is what is true. And so today we move to the second principle, which is that our essence is of God, therefore we are inherently good. Because there is God and it is good, and we are of that, we ourselves are inherently good. Now, that really makes us bump up against, because how you know yourself, how you think of yourself is through your stories, through your memory, through your experience of others. From the moment you're breathing, you're absorbing, you're taking in images and words and other people's beliefs and ideas. And because you don't have in your formative years the ability to say, that is not of God, so I say no, because we don't have that ability, we say yes. Now, there are some things that you did reject because they weren't a vibrational match for whatever reason, but much of what was happening we absorbed. So the spiritual path really, in large part, is about freeing ourselves, releasing and releasing and releasing. And people say, when will I be done? And I say, I don't know. I don't think today, so keep working. Let today be sufficient unto itself. It's actually very rewarding work when we make it a practice to bring whatever we're thinking about, whatever is fearful, to just put it through a simple test. Is this thought, this story, what is happening in my mind, because that's all that is really happening, that is causing me to respond, what is happening here, does it match the inherent nature of my being? We don't ask that question enough. If I am the goodness of God, and I am, do my ideas about myself vibrate at that level? And if not, am I willing to lay them down? Am I willing to stop beating myself up? Am I willing to stop regretting, rehashing, wishing I did something different 42 years ago? Some of those things can hold on. We just ruminate and we wander. And that's what the nature of the mind does. And that's okay. But the freedom comes when we declutch our identity from the mind. When it's okay for the mind to wander and go in its directions, but we're just observing. We're watching and going, okay, no to that, no to that. This is the inherent power you have within you. You have the ability to identify. And it is in your identification where all your freedom and power lies. And this is what unity teaches. I am the inherent goodness of God, and that is all I am. That is all I am. There's a common phrase in the spiritual world called the last judgment. Some people use the idea of the last judgment as a very scary thing. And I think, on the ego level, we're all afraid of that. Because when you spend your day judging yourself and other people, it's scary to think that you're going to go before God or this council that's going to do the last judgment. But many people, as in all spiritual teachings, are just getting a glimpse of it and misusing that idea. Because it isn't you that is being lastly judged. Is that the way to say it? Judged last? It's not you. It is what you believe yourself to be. Imagine, I don't know, it's just how it shows up in my mind. You go before God, and God, in all God's love, says, oh, that unworthiness thing, that doesn't stay. Oh, that belief that you're limited, oh, that doesn't stay. And it judges not your divinity. It judges all the ways that you fractured off and believed yourself to be other things and other ideas. That becomes judged and released, meaning all the fearful identities, the guilt, the belief that you're not good enough, that you did something wrong, that you are the things of this world. That is what becomes freed. And what remains is that beautiful innocence, that being that is you. And you do know this. You do know this being that you are. And as the lies and the misidentifications are being released from you, the memory grows brighter and brighter, and you feel more and more at home. You feel more and more at peace. You feel more and more free, because that is your nature. We've taught on this many times here, over and over and over, and we'll do many more. As God is, I am. That which God is me, because God created me out of itself. We should entertain that idea all day long. That's a great litmus test. As a thought comes to mind, is this God's thought? Is this God's thought? And if it isn't, why should I give it any more time and attention? Now, you do that and you will feel, oh, how dare you? Like something will be stirred. You're waking the not sleeping monster. You're waking the part of you that you believe is exiled and separate. And this is what we say, cut off the belief that you're exiled and separate. And the beautiful part of your soul that it got cut off, that is trapped, imprisoned out there, come home. Come home. I am the goodness of God. I am the freedom of God. I am the love of God. I am the joy of God. I am that. I am that. This is when you become a savior of the world. This is when you become the one that ripples from your vibration, upliftment and renewal. To me, this is the amazing work when everyone's talking about this horrible divided world that is in so much fear. I say, then we need to get in here. then more than ever before, let our minds and hearts be healed and remember who we are. I am the goodness of God. So as last week, you were invited to redefine or consider goodness with no opposite as God's identity. Today, you are invited to consider the goodness of love with no opposite as your identity. As your identity. And there's a little bit of a, it's just a small, it's bigger than you think, or it's smaller than you think. There's a fear gap that we move through because what will our relationships think? What will happen? Like the ego will want you to begin going outside into your world because it wants to scare you from this identity. And this is when we just pause and we say, I'm not being asked to show up to the holiday dinner standing up and defining my identity. You're not asked to stand up and say, by the way, I am God, and that is all that is real. And I just want you to know, please pass the turkey. This is not the wise way to go, but it's a good inside job. It's a great inside job. And it gets really fun when, as you remember this softly over and over, it becomes reflected in the other, because that is what's true. That is what's true. The Course says we need our brother, which is the other, just uses that term, brother, sister, other being. We need them to help us remember. We go home 2 by 2, if you will. And that is simply because in this world where you believe there is 2, the restoration is a return to 1. And so wherever you think there is 2, you got to grab that 2, bring it home, equal 1. Now I remember. So this isn't a solo experience. So it sounds scary. I'm going to do this alone. No one's going to be with me. Everyone else is going to be over there. I'm going to be alone. No, you're going to be with everyone in a very deep, personal, intimate way. You're going to discover the profound spiritual connection that you have to your loved ones that is so much deeper than the noise and the conversations and the this and that, which are lovely and fun in certain ways. But you are restored to your own goodness and you remember theirs. This is what Jesus did. This is why Jesus was really just a cool master teacher, man. And he threatened the establishment because he walked in the truth of his being. And when people came around him, they felt their own. And so here's the government and the church and everyone telling people they must act this way and that way. And this is how the complete control and submission. Living underneath in slavery to the belief systems and the control of the world. Jesus comes in, they hang out with him for a minute, they're like, oh, wait a minute. I think I'm okay. And as soon as people think they're okay, the world is rocked. And so this is what he did. He moved through shining this beingness. And he didn't stand. He stood on hills and I believe he taught and I believe he prophesied, but I don't imagine that I believe he did it by magnetism, is my point. I believe he just drew people to him because of the undeniable vibration that was activated in them. And they came together. And in that togetherness, the remembering occurred. There were many that walked by. There were many, he didn't raise the entire world at once. He didn't raise everyone at once. He allowed those who were called and those who were ready and those who were feeling the vibration. Those were the ones that came. But I don't think there was a part of him that thought any less of anybody else, It's just everyone's on their path and everything's beautiful and perfect. And those who are ready for this, come. And those who come and who are called and who answered were the ones that awakened and began remembering. You are called. You have answered. You are remembering. I don't care how crazy your mind gets on Tuesday morning. I don't care how goofy you get. That is not greater than the part of you that brings you here. It's not greater than the part of you that remembers at any point to turn to some scripture, to read the daily word, to turn to some prayer, to listen to something that is lifted up. This is because it is like calling unto like. It is the spiritual goodness of your being calling unto itself. And it is greater. It is greater. This is why I believe there is a God that has no concern for the silliness. There's no concern when you know who and what they are. I've used this analogy before. The parent watching the children play in the yard. It's a bit of a graphic idea, but the idea of playing, cops and robbers, or, people, good guys, bad guys. The kids are playing these games in the yard. The parent isn't upset by who's playing what role or what's happening, or if a kid pretends to die and fall on the ground, because they know it's not real. It's play. I think this is an analogy of how God works. Why would I get upset when it's not real? What is real is the goodness that I am. And we must entertain that a lot more, I think. I also want to move into, for us today, the story of Jesus at the well. A woman is at the well, and Jesus is there, and he starts to talk to her, and she is not of the holiness that Jesus is. I'm blanking. She's a Pharisee. Am I correct on that? I believe I am. Huh? Samaritan. Thank you. Thank you. She's a Samaritan. And this is not someone that, Jesus should be talking to. And she's like, what are you doing? Why, you can't be talking to me. I'm not of your quality. I'm not the same. I'm not good. I'm the bad one. But Jesus doesn't see that. Jesus says that's ridiculous. And Jesus says, if you knew who was asking you for water, if you knew, you would ask for water and you would have living water. If you knew the divinity within you and you asked that life for living water, it would be a sustenance that is transcendent and not of this world. This is what we're here for. We are here to remember there is a thirst that is quenched within you, that comes from your soul, that comes from your spirit, and it is eternal and it's delicious. But later, and this is even the greater point for us, Jesus says to the woman at the well, our ancestors worshiped on this mountain, but you Jews claim that the place where we must worship is in Jerusalem. And so Jesus says, woman, believe me, a time is coming when you will worship the Father neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. A time is coming and has now come when the true worshipers will worship the Father in the Spirit and in truth, for they are the kind of worshipers the Father seeks. So brings us to our conversation today for a moment. We must remember that we are called to worship in spirit, that we are called to cling to nothing of this world and anchor and rest and be in the Spirit of God that goes everywhere you are. There is happening in the world, as we know, we've talked about this. Many churches are coming down. Many churches have little attendance. It's happening absolutely everywhere. We're not unique in this story. And as I was thinking about that, I was like, there could be an amazing breakthrough happening that feels personal to us and our generation, but to the other generations, less personal, because when we cling to an idol, when we cling to a building, a temple, a cathedral, a sacred place that is over there, we are worshiping an idol. And when we worship an idol, we lose the connection to God within. And every idol we worship must come down so we can return home. And I was thinking, like, maybe it's cool that we can go to YouTube or online and find all the great teachings with the click of a button. Maybe it's really cool that which used to be go to this building or that building, whichever one your family went to or whatever one your culture went to on Sundays, and this is where you do all of it. Maybe there's something cool happening that's not the case. That it's everywhere now, that it doesn't have a specific home. It is alive within the individual. We were just looking at this last night and been talking about this throughout the week for some reason, but we all remember the malls. I loved going to the mall. That was fun. What was the question? I think it was, what was the first place you went to? When you went into the mall, we were just scrolling online. The question was, what was the first store that you went to? And it got us sort of remembering all of the different places you would go. That's barely alive anymore. It's just not real. Why? Because everyone does it online, because it's everywhere. Because you can do it on your phone. Anywhere you are, you can get what you need. There has become that which was a centralized hub is decentralized. And I miss the mall, kind of. I think, I like the memories of it. It was fun. It was something that we did. But if I go there now, I'm walking alone. There's just barely anything there, and I buy extra anti-pretzels because I feel bad for them. Someone needs to support them. The times have changed, and that's just what is. And that's what is. And I have this fan, and it is happening, where these malls are beginning to be turned into what's new, places for people to live, communities. There'll be something new that is born. And as the world evolves in its technology and in its expansiveness and in its consciousness, and things change, it always gets easier in some ways, challenging in others, but ultimately more graceful. And I think that is true for spiritual teachings now. There are people consuming their spiritual interest. It's just very different. They're out running along the path, listening to it on their earbuds. And there are wonderful gatherings happening, of course. That's always hopefully going to be happening. But they're everywhere. And that's kind of cool. Jesus, in his time, was challenging the construct that became so frozen and so anchored in form that it was no longer alive in spirit. And that continues to unfold. And I believe there is a great deconstruction that we're in, a great, much bigger than this building that we're speaking of together in our community. There's a great deconstruction of that which no longer serves, that which no longer is relevant. There is a final judgment occurring around some things, but it is not of the heart and the goodness of it. That will prevail. That will rise up. That will remain strong. And that's where we can place our faith. In everything that is coming down in our worlds, the changes that feel fast and furious at times, we can go within, I am the goodness of God. The goodness of God remains, and the form may change 1,000 more times. In fact, it will. But the inherent nature that keeps rebirthing and being made new is beautiful. And when we finally let go, and we let that which is holding us back down, and we let rebirth happen, whatever that looks like, we experience that freshness. We experience that aliveness. And this is what we're being asked to do. We're being asked to do that today, whatever that means to you here, but we're being asked to do that in the world. We are being asked, and I don't want us to become the old ones that gripe about those young ones who are changing. I want to become the ones that don't get old because we stay renewed in our spirit, because we stay alive and youthful and free in the life of God. That's who unity is. That's what unity can represent. So let's take a breath on that. God is, I am. God is the inherent, infinite, beautiful goodness of life. I am the inherent, beautiful goodness of life. God is the eternal presence of love and joy. I am the eternal presence of love and joy. Breathe this in. All that God is, I am, and it is non-local. It is wherever I am and everywhere I am. It has no permanent home here, thank God, not even in the body, not in anything I believe myself to be. There is an I am eternal presence in God that is so beyond this form, greater than this form, popping into this for just a nanosecond of time and moving on to my next experience. I am the one that is coming and going. I am the one that experiences form and releases form over and over and over. I am the one that flowers open brand new every spring. I am the one that moves through the seasons of change but never changes. And that cannot be contained in anything. Jesus said, take this body, and in 3 days, I'll raise it up and rebuild it. He had no attachment. This is what we are. We are that power and presence that rebuilds, that renews, that remembers, and needs nothing of this world to be our magnificent self. And yet, the world becomes our playground, our opportunity to create anew, to allow, to let go, and let God be God in all our experiences and all our seasons of life. Let go and let God be God. Be the goodness. Keep our eyes on the goodness. Declare the goodness. Speak to the goodness. Refuse to entertain any other thought. There is good and only good, and I shall have it. I shall be it. This is what we are. And if we're not this, then we could have 1,000 buildings. It doesn't mean anything. I am the goodness of God. And I shall experience that everywhere I am, because that is what I am. Please breathe that in. Please let that be your mantra this week. I am the goodness of God, and I shall experience the goodness of God everywhere I am, because that is what I am. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for the opportunity to remember and to lead into this second principle of unity that reminds us and makes clear our identity. Capital I in God, capital G is all that there is with no opposite. Life with no death. Grateful for the fulfillment of this word. It is done, and so it is. Amen. I like more people here. We should vote every week. All right, let us move into our time to share our gifts. Those live streaming, and thank you for being here. Please make sure to make your contribution before you go. We're so grateful for you. And together we say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give,
and all that I receive. And I am thankful.
And we are so thankful for your gifts. Thank you so much. And Gina will share with you other ways that you can make your contributions.
Okay, thank you. Now is our time of giving, and there are a few ways for you to give. The ushers are passing a basket right now, and you can give here by placing any love offering there. We have an option to give through Venmo as well. You can simply scan the QR code or use our name, Unity-Lakeshore. We also have an option to give through text. Send the word give to 616-236-5205. Again, that number is 616-236-5205. If it is your first time giving this way, you will receive a link with instructions. If you have given before through text, then you can simply text a dollar amount to this number. You can also give online through our website at unityonthelakeshore.org/donations. For those watching online, the link is in the chat. You can also mail in a check to Unity on the Lakeshore, P.O. Box 848, Douglas, Michigan 49406. And now we're going to have another song by our wonderful musician. Grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful. Grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful. My gift to you is gratitude. Oh, yes, I'm grateful. Oh, yes, I'm grateful. Grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. Grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. My gift to you is gratitude. Oh, yes, I'm grateful. Oh, yes, I'm grateful. Grateful, grateful. Yes, I'm grateful. Oh, yes, I'm grateful.
Just mesmerized by the music.
I am. Thank you. All right. Let's see here. If you are in need of support, there are a few ways to receive that. First is to email us at unitylakeshore@gmail.com. You can also phone the office 269-857-8226. And there's always the Unity silent prayer line that is 24/7, and that's 816-969-2000. If you haven't liked our Facebook page, please do so. This way you can share about all of the great things going on here, engage with others. You can find us at facebook.com/Unity Lakeshore. Creative coach and award winner Patrick Ziegler, our very own, will be offering the Artist's Way again online. It will be held on Wednesday evening starting October 1. For more information, visit our website, or if you're online watching, the link is in the chat. Unity family. The important members meeting to vote on selling the building will be immediately following the service. Members are encouraged to attend and to vote. Thank you for prioritizing this very pivotal decision for our community. And I know of one new person. Anyone other than Cindy here today for the first time? All right. Well, welcome to Cindy. Thank you for joining us today. And are there any announcements from the community? Anything to share? Okay. If any would like to make a suggestion or have any spiritual questions, there is a box right here to my left that you can submit your suggestion or question. And now it's time for our closing song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. And please feel free to stand if you are able or remain seated if you choose.
Thank you, Gina.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, and we all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. In every step I take, let this be my sword as well. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us wherever we are. God is, and all is well. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. So we'll take